Invite a Budget Blinds style consultant to show you how to transform your rooms just by changing your window coverings. Canada's #1 choice for window coverings. Visit budgetblinds.ca today.
Welcome back. A new deal between Frog Lake First Nation and Pengrowth Energy will see a portion of the profits from the Lindbergh facility go towards developing their community. Frog Lake has invested $30 million into Phase 1 of the project. That money pays for a section of the facility. The First Nation will receive the profits it generates for the next 12 years.
We had to find investments, alternative investments that give us that sustainable revenues. With oil prices up and down, we want to get into an investment where the risk was much less.
Dion says that money will go towards improving the community through investments in things like better roads, healthcare, and education. Derek Evans was there representing Pengrowth.
We wanted something substantial in which our partners could participate in the value that was going to be created, so that they would win and we would win.
With 2 more phases planned, the facility brings a potential for employment. Dion hopes Aboriginals will make up to 40% of the workforce.
All things being equal, if we're skilled, we got the education, we got the attitude, want to go to work, we got a job.
Phase 1 is operational. The second phase will cost around $885 million to build, and that's only sustainable if oil can climb back to $65 a barrel. The signing kicked off Frog Lake's powwow that was held all weekend long. Back to local news now. A new analysis of transactions made on the Canadian-owned adultery website Ashley Madison shows the border city is one of the highest spending areas in Canada. Last Tuesday, street addresses, partial credit card numbers, and user expenses were released by hackers to the general public. Since then, jewelry stores have been offering discounts to help cheaters save face with their significant others, and a website has popped up that allows anyone to search for users of the site by name. Now, the data shows the Alberta side of Lloydminster spent more than $140,000 on the site. The T9V postal codes are second only to a downtown Toronto address, not coincidentally where Ashley Madison's head office is located. Albertans aren't the only cheaters in Lloyd, and Saskatchewan's side postal code S9V has more than $13,000 worth of treacherous transactions. At the bottom of the list, with about $50 in Madison money transfers, are neighborhoods in Selkirk, Manitoba, Moncton, New Brunswick, and downtown Montreal. Well, residents of the border city are no strangers to construction, and lately detour signs seem to be at almost every corner. And if you're wondering if all this will be stopping anytime soon, the answer is no. That's because the city is executing their street improvement program for 2015. The city has recently announced a new road that will be rehabilitated, 70th Avenue south of Walmart to 44th Street. Due to the size of the construction, the road will be closed for 5 days, starting today. Well, when you think of shooting a gun, sports may not be the first thing that comes to mind. Well, 25 years ago, many in the area were gearing up for the National Trap Shooting Competition. Annika Notfade has a story in this week's Retrospect.
The trip to the National Trap Shooting Championship will be Brian Shepard's 9th. He has been a national doubles champion before, so he knows what to expect.
We can expect about 500 shooters to be there, and in order to win it, a person's going to have to run the targets, that is, don't miss any in the singles event. Possibly you can miss one in the doubles, and possibly one in the handicap. So in order to win any of those championships, you've got to be shooting awful well. The tough shooters are probably all from Saskatchewan. Yvon Mercier is from Regina, he's a tough shooter. Rod Bowl from Fillmore is a very tough shooter. My very good friend Jerry Mills from our own club is a tough shooter. And they'll be all competing against me in the same class, AA class.
Shepard earned a trip to the championship by capturing the Saskatchewan men's singles title at the provincial championship in Leader. With a provincial title under his belt, he will be competing in the Champions of Champions against other provincial title holders.
I think the Canadian Championship is probably the first, and if you win the Canadian Championship, you'll win the Champion of Champion races, which is 10 provinces competing, the champions out of 10 provinces competing against one another in that same race. So if you win the Canadian title, you're bound to win the Champion of Champion races at the same time.
And these days, clay and skeet shooting competitions still go on across the country. Well, that's all for Retrospect this week. I'm Annika Notbay.